I reached out to a dear old friend of mine. He's supposed to make it onto the show. However, he has children that have soccer, and it didn't end up happening. Coach JD. And I was asking him because he's a Baltimore Ravens fan. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well,
dear old friend.
My dear old friend. I met him last year. He is old, though. But anyway, I asked Coach, and from all 22 films, you guys don't know what we're talking about. I was like, well, what is the Mike Macdonald weakness? Like, where'd you guys got last year? And it's a pretty stout defense. You guys know the Baltimore Ravens. You guys saw it with the Michigan Wolverines. Mike Macdonald's pretty fucking good at his job. However, he did say that often he leaves the linebackers, the interior, the closest linebacker to the outside boundaries, typically has a man coverage against the running backs. And one of the selling points of Jahmyr Gibbs has always been like this weaponry. He's more than a running back, but he's also could be a wide receiver for you. And I think that's interesting because as much as we've seen Jahmyr be an explosive running back, which I hope we get some more 20-plus yarders or more touchdowns. Well, obviously, we want that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm ready to see him as a weapon, too. I think this game, just going off what Coach says, could be that game where you see him maybe break out as a wide receiver because everything else, outside of maybe us running the ball, might be locked down. Mm-hmm. I mean, Devon Witherspoon's a dog. Tariq Woolen's a dog. Mike McDonald's a dog. If you have that one matchup, I don't even know who the linebacker is, against Jahmyr Gibbs, it's your time to shine, kid.
That does sound good. It makes sense when you look at the secondary of the Seattle Seahawks and what they bring to the table. And the Lions did sign Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson to their active roster.
Yeah.
So
shout out Allen Robinson, Detroit native.
Yeah, shout out Allen Robinson. We could see a couple wide receivers out there that we haven't seen, and maybe those guys get to. Allen Robinson feels like a perfect fill for Josh Reynolds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could do exactly what Josh Reynolds did. So we will see that. I think this is going to have to be a game from Goff where he just does what he does best.
Hand the ball
off.
No offense.
And hit the open guy.
Yes.
That's what it has to be for him. He can't be trying to force things to J-Mo or force things to Amon-Ra St. Brown with guys like Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon back there. They'll make you pay. He just needs to hand the ball off and hit the open guy, hit the guy that the play is schemed for. If it's not there, throw it out of bounds. Got to play mistake-free football. Got to methodically move the ball down the field. And I think they are very capable of doing that. Even without Frank Ragnow, I think they'll run the ball at a pretty high clip.
And this is straight from the DMs, too. Easy, you look cute today. No, I'm just kidding. He says, so that was like one of the things you expect the Detroit Lions to expose in that Seattle Seahawks defense, which they've been ranked fourth against wide receivers, but they haven't fucking played anyone.
Real quick. Elgato about the two signings of the wide receivers, Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick. He says, both are old and slow.
Well, Tim Patrick's still good.
Good thing we don't need young, fast receivers in Jared Goff's offense. Like, you know what Josh Reynolds was? He was old and slow, and he was Jared Goff's second favorite target last year.
Yeah.
So we don't need more J-Mos. We need guys that'll do Josh Reynolds' job. That's exactly what both of these guys can do.
All right, number one, he says attack the boundary with the run. Ben Johnson already does that. 2, he says attack the boundary with the pass. Probably with St. Brown or Jameson Williams. They'll most likely put Woolen into the boundary with Witherspoon to the field when you go 11 personnel. That is true, actually. I read that elsewhere, too, that Witherspoon plays the nickel when they go outside like that, or they bring out the slot receiver. I suspect we see trips to the field with St. Brown and Williams, motion to the boundary to avoid both Witherspoon and Woolen from a matchup perspective. Another thing I was looking into, too, and I actually have to give Scott Bischoff credit for this one. Thank you. Shout out to him for having me on this show earlier today. But he looked at the Patriots game that they had, and the Patriots not the best offense. We saw the Jets shut them down easily. Both Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson is like almost flopping out of the league as a running back at this point in his career.
Hard.
Had like 96 yards and 11 carries. Mm-hmm. Ramondre Stevenson had like 86 on 12 in a touchdown. Brother, we have the steroid version of those two gentlemen.
We have the good version of those two guys.
Yes.
Like I said, even without Frank Ragnow, I expect them to run the ball. Bring in the extra offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Giovanni Manu. Maybe it's somebody else, whoever you bring in. Maybe it's Sorsdale. Get that guy moving. Put Malcolm in the backfield. Put Vaki in the backfield.
Everybody love Malcolm.
Have them lead block for these guys to open holes. Do some stretch plays. Do some zone outside runs. Give them some toss backs. Like, I'd like to see a creative running attack for the Lions against the Seahawks, because that's where you're going to make your money against this team.
Yeah, another thing, too, for the Detroit Lions fans. I mean, the number one thing for me, it's going to be this every week, to be honest with you guys, but specifically in this matchup, for goddamn sure run the ball. Let's see how we talked about how the Patriots ran on them, but also in this matchup particularly, they might be missing Leonard Williams, who you guys know to be a beast from when he's with the Jets, now with the Seattle Seahawks, and they're also probably going to be missing Byron Murphy. Those are two big guys in the middle that make plays for them. They still got Jonathan Haskins, the guy that was with the Cowboys, but that's about it. And if anything this offensive line could do, that I'm not going to doubt ever, is going to be run the fucking football.
Yeah.
Run the football the same way he did an overtime drive against the Rams. Duo. Two of the bigger stars on the middle of the defensive line missing. That's time for you to run the ball and show them what you do. Shove it down their throat. Get Jared Goff in the play action, and then you start to find J-Mo deep. Like touch him up first, though.
Yeah, it was the first home game last year for the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 7 receptions on 9 targets, 39 yards, but he had a crucial drop and also was not on the same page with Goff, and he threw an interception. So that's the big thing to me when we talk about Gibbs coming out of the backfield and being a target in this game, like he was last time we played the Seahawks. I don't want to see any of that rookie rust that we saw the last time, but it was his first home game, so it's understandable to maybe not be on the same page. I don't want to hear it this week. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, same page, take control. Take advantage of the linebackers. If Gibbs is lined up one-on-one, I want to see him cook him, and I want to see Goff hit him in stride with the ability to run after the catch and do damage. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, like you said, Easy, is going to be a massive part of this game if we are going to win it.
I think this could be like a heavyweight fight, and the run game for us is going to be that jab. Just touch them up. They're bringing people down the box. Next, you know, James
hit him with the hook.
Yes. Yep. Boom. Knockout punch. Jameson Williams, 60-yard touchdown, or whatever it may be, wherever you're in the field. But you have to run the ball to establish that.
That's what it should be. That's what this offense should be like. We're in offense 401 right now. Well, you got to take this offense back to its simplest form. Like, drop 401. You can still drop it and get your money back. So drop 401 and take it back to 223, where you're just running the ball up the middle until they prove they can stop you, and they won't be able to stop you until they dedicate more bodies to stop you. And guess what happens when you do that? You run play action where Jared Goff is at his best, and he can hit J-Mo down the field. He can hit Brock Wright leaking out of the backfield, somebody like that. Maybe... Show me a flea flicker in this game, dude. I would love to see that. They suck the defenders in, pause, and then you drop it over the top to J-Mo or someone. I think they need to simplify what they're doing. They're trying a little too hard on offense.
Yeah, and I think Seattle's defensive lines evolved too. Obviously, they're missing some guys, but Boye Mafe, I'm pretty sure, has a sack in each one of these games. But it goes back to, and I'm sure this expression every coach has, but I'll never forget AG saying that they earn the right to rush the passer. It's an amazing ask. The Detroit Lions had to force the Seattle Seahawks to earn that right. We know what JG is when he's under pressure, and it's not great. You can blitz him, he'll operate fine. He's obviously standing up perfectly, he can operate fine. But when they get in his face, that's when he starts to make those like Will Levis-type mistakes, and just avoid that. Run the ball. Have him second guess. Have the defense second guess and make it a chess match. And I fully expect it to be that way. Again, talking to Ted Rath last night, I asked him, last year, straight up, Mike McDaniel fucking undressed Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And bullied him.
Yeah.
I was like, is Ben the competitor? Is he got, oh my God. Does he have extra oomph this week to get that lick back? And he said yes, both he and Dan Campbell, because he worked with Dan Campbell as well.
You got to ask to lick, but you'd love to lick to ask, because like this is something you need to see out of Ben Johnson. This is a twofer for him. A 2-mountain climb, like the Seahawks and Mike McDonald. Like you need to go out there and take care of business. I think they will, and it starts with running the ball. That's where this offense starts. That's where its home is. Like, go back to your home and just run the ball on them. We do got to.